and we get answers, we get opinions. Yes, it's all about your opinion and your take on things, matters, politics, what is happening out here, to who, how much money has been spent as well. Now, today I am joined by Emmanuel Bosire, and my question is going to be posed to him. So we're just going to have a brief discussion as usual. We keep it short and sweet. Hello guys, welcome to Ask Siasa with me, Tamara Patience. As usual, what happens here is I ask a question and we get. Hello guys, welcome to Ask Siasa with me, Tamara Patience. As usual, what happens here is I ask a question and we get answers, we get opinions. Yes, it's all about your opinion and your take on things, matters, politics, what is happening out here, to who, how much money has been spent as well. Now, today I am joined by Emmanuel Bosire, and my question is going to be posed to him. So we're just going to have a brief discussion as usual. We keep it short and sweet. Karibu sana, Emmanuel. Yes. So what is currently happening, of course, we know that the trend is the bipartisan talks that are happening at the Bomas of Kenya on a daily basis. And it's been quite an interesting, interesting sana, what is happening there, the kind of revelations that are also happening there. And some of the proposals that have also been put forward by different people, that is different entities as well. Now, the former Attorney General, that is Professor Gidu Muigai, came up with a suggestion or a proposal on reducing the number of constituencies, number one, to 100 constituencies. And number two, getting rid of some of the political positions that are there. So we know that in Kenya currently, for example, we have 67 senators, we have 492 MPs, 47 women representatives for the different 47 constituencies, and the number of MCAs is 2,222 MCAs in total. Now, my question to you is, number one, do you feel like Kenya is overrepresented?
No, as a country, we're not overrepresented. In fact, we are underrepresented because with the population, leadership and representation goes one-on-one with the population of a country. So we are roughly 50 million at the moment as per 2019 census. So with the representation, it should increase. So with increase in population of a country, we expect the representation of people to increase. So when Professor is referring us back to what happened in 2010, so as per 2004 actually, when the constitution was being drafted, we were less than actually 40 million. But now in 2023, whereby we are 50 million, again wanting to reduce the number of constituencies and even wanting to reduce the number of counties, that will be a very underestimation. And two, we're talking about two-third gender rule, whereby men and youths and women are able again to occupy seats. So the seats like that of women reps, they were being created intentionally so as to find representations of the marginalized women through the women reps. So when again you want to remove them, it's a threat to the two-third gender rule, which is enshrined in the Constitution. Again, about the removal of the whole Senate. How can we have the removal of the whole Senate when the current Constitution says that we have two houses, the upper house, which is the Senate, and the lower house, which is the National Assembly. So we cannot want to remove the the Senate so as to return us back to where we were before the 2010 Constitution. So unless he's being used by someone to bring these oral reforms so as to find the Constitution being amended. So this one now will only not call for amendment of the Constitution, but the repealing of the whole Constitution so that we can have another one which will want to return us to where we've come from. But I'm praying that these reforms are not to be amended, but to be created so that we can have even more positions. Because honestly, we have many. There are regions that don't have counties. Like we go to Kuria area, it's marginalized now that they are Kurias in Migori County. They are unable to get development projects because they don't have a leader of their own to represent them. So there are many marginalized counties. Like we should have even the more 7 being added. So it seems that a professor is being used by someone to make this happen, to bring this what we used to have. But honestly, we are underestimated. Yeah.
And you know, the Professor Muigai was also stating that even during 2004, when the constitution was actually being formulated, they had suggested, or the suggestion was to have 14 counties, you know. And then, according to him, of course, matters were politicized to an extent that they agreed to 67 counties. So we know there are counties that are geographically huge, and there are also some that are small. We know that there are, for example, regions where we have a fewer number of people, and other regions where we have a huge number of people. So what is your thought on also the proposal to like try and merge some of the constituencies or some of the counties, because there are other counties that, number one, have too many people. So number one, kuna how they have representation, for example, though not enough as you stated, but we also have those who have fewer people or fewer number of people to deal with. So should it, like, what are your thoughts on merging it? Or yeah, what are your thoughts on merging it?
Yeah, you know, in formulation of counties in 2004, it was a way to remove out regional provinces which were in action by then. So when it came up that we wanted doubling, it was not able to sort out what was initially intended. So with the legislatures then proposing that we have more counties, so us to create a more representation and evolution. So what we wanted actually is that instead of having one central government controlling every development of the country, and now that there's issues with corruption in our country and tribalism, whereby some regions were being favored in expense of other regions because they never had representation. So when we go back to the 204 and before 2010, what we used to have is maybe we have coast province, we have central province, eastern, and coast. Now you find out that then the representation was we people from central province.
No.
We people from Nyanza province. Now, when you go to Nyanza, we have other subdivisions in it. We have Luo Nyanza, we have Gusti Nyanza, we have Kuria Nyanza, whereby the key leaders then came from Luo Nyanza. So meaning developments going to one place at the expense of the entire region. So with the coming of counties, now you are able to negotiate for your development as a county, as Kisii County, Nyamira County, Turkana County. Talking about merging of other counties, you find that in Kenya, the largest county is Turkana County, depending on the square kilometers. But its population is not, it does not have the largest population. The smallest county in Kenya is Mombasa County. But what population does it have? Millions of Kenyans are living in Mombasa. So the representation here does not lie specifically on square kilometers per area, but to the population. So you find out that the people in Nairobi, we have a lot of people in Nairobi looking for employment, others running businesses, others for education, and everything here done in Nairobi. Now, when you want to represent them using the square kilometers, now you want to tell us